So this movie moved me very much,
Good.
and your character is the source of that emotion for me, because he's the one who's trying somehow to staunch the wound. He's,
Yes.
the little child is so hurt, so terribly hurt.
No, it's. I find the story very interesting. It's very intricate,
Yes.
and the relationships with the dead or alive. It's very complicated, but very interesting. And the situation of this old man is also very complicated. We don't know. In the film, we are not really introduced what has happened to him and why doesn't he speak, etc.
The book provides a good deal more information
yes.
about that, about the renter.
About the renter, yes. But the renter, it is an awfully complicated story, but very beautiful. I like it very much.
Well, for you, then, you supply everything that you bring to it, even if we don't know what you know. The emotion is there, and you're having to do it without dialogue. Is this the first time you've done
No, it's not without dialogue.
Explain.
No. I'm speaking, but I'm speaking
By writing.
Messages. So there's no difference. The only difference between the renter and, how should I say, ordinary or normal people is that he doesn't speak vocally. He speaks through his written messages. That's the only difference. I mean, he's totally normal in every other way, but he is hurt, profoundly hurt, and he has once punished himself by deciding, I shall never in my life utter one more word, and he doesn't. And he does it probably, we don't know that yet, but probably because he is present when his entire family is wiped out, but he was not.
So this movie connects one Holocaust with another.
Yes, but of course, I remember the Holocaust of Dresden, which was apparently an enormous
There's no comparison, really.
disaster for the town and for the people there. But it's difficult to compare that with 9/11 because that was, I don't want to excuse anybody, but this was part of the war. It was a war between two different alliances, and this thing happened. It more or less all the time. The one attacked the other and bombed, etc., and vice versa. But 9/11 is such a madness because it's just one or a few people who does this totally for free killing, I don't know how many people, and without warning, and having no conflict with these people, and having there's no war going on. I mean, it's totally, it was, well, I call it stupidity. I call it emotional stupidity from the Al-Qaeda Sydow side.
Well, Stephen Daldry and Eric Roth, the script that you first read,
Yes.
Was it very different from the final film?
It was, in certain detail, yes. But
How would you
it
describe
changed.
that?
It changed during the shoot a couple of times. From the beginning, Eric Roth and Stephen were not totally clear about how the film should end and how the renter should end, etc., etc. So that changed a couple of times.
How would you describe the debate? What was
Describe
it?
what?
What was the debate? Which way would it
No.
go?
There was apparently at one time the idea that maybe the renter should finally make an effort and try to say something. Mm-hmm. But I was against that from the beginning because the film is not about the renter. The film is about the boy, and it is not about the renter who finally manages to speak. That's not the solution. So thank God this did not happen.
I agree with you. 100% on that. Was there much concern in the course of the filming about how Thomas Horn, the level of his performance in terms of its being strident or off-putting in any way? I mean, it's a very hard calibration for him,
yes.
Because he's such a strange, kooky, acting out, pained kid, and you feel for him, but he's also sometimes very talky, very obnoxious.
Yes. Sorry, and what is your question?
The question is, were you aware of a lot of different ways they were doing things? Did you try to do it lots of different ways?
No, that I cannot really tell. But apparently, they were working with him off camera quite a bit, and how much I cannot tell. But no doubt he is a remarkable young man, because he very well. I met him before the production when he had no exercise, no nothing.
He was a Jeopardy winner.
Sorry?
A Jeopardy winner of Jeopardy.
Yes. But I don't know. Apparently he had been talking, or they had been talking to him, and told him what was expected from him. But he was totally unexperienced as an actor. He had not tried that at all. And we read a couple of scenes. I came over to do wardrobe tests and things, and Stephen Daldry brought us together. We read a few scenes together with Stephen, and he had no expression at all. He just read the lines. Blah. But then I left and came back after a month and a half or so, when he had already been working for a month, and he was already totally professional and very well organized and very, very disciplined, and he understood. No problem at all. He was amazing, and with a memory that I envy him, because sometimes, rather frequently, we got new lines in the morning, and that is, to me, well, in this case, it was not a major problem, but normally it is a problem. I want to be prepared in advance when there is dialogue. But he got his lines in the morning, and he delivered them. He knew them very quickly after, I don't know, half hour. He had the dialogue, and he gave it, and no problem at all. And he had at one time, we had a scene in the beginning of our relationship. When we meet the first time, we have a long scene in grandmother's kitchen, and where he tells his entire story. And it is written in one long piece. I think it was 8 minutes of monologue. And I thought, how is this going to... This is not easy to do. But no problem. He gave it, and I don't know how many times he repeated this before Stephen was happy with what he shot. But no, I admire, I envy Thomas Horn for his good memory and his quick, how should I say, quick understanding of what acting is about.
Well, Daldry is a really remarkable filmmaker.
Yes, he is.
Tell me a little bit about how he worked with you, and does he
Well,
do a lot of takes?
Sorry?
Does he do many different takes?
No, not really, not many, but sometimes. It was more a matter of technical problems or so. Otherwise, we didn't shoot many takes, I don't think so. No, he is a very, what shall I say, he's a very inspiring, very imaginative director, but he gives a lot of freedom to his actors, and he is very supportive, and he has a very nice sense of humor, which helps. And it was a pleasure in every way. I had seen his 3 films, and I admire him very much. So I was very happy to hear that the film was going to be directed by Stephen Daldry.
Well, one of the trends this year seems to be silent filmmaking. We have The Artist, the silent film from France. Have you had a chance to see that yet?
Yes.
And then there's Hugo, the Martin Scorsese film, which is an absolute love poem to Méliès and the silence. And then we have your silent performance as well, and it just reminds us perhaps that movies are more about images than noise necessarily.
Yes.
That silence is sometimes golden. You can do a great deal without
Yes.
speaking.
Yes, absolutely. But of course, you cannot compare the artist or what the artist offers with what I'm doing in our film, because the artist tells about technique that was the only one they had before talkers came, and I presume many times the actors felt that they were talking but nobody heard what they were saying, but in order to really show what they felt or wanted, maybe they exaggerated gestures or attitudes a little bit. The renter has no reason to do that. I just want to communicate as much as I can with my writing, and apart from that, there's no reason to how should I say, act a dialogue, act a silent dialogue.
So what those two characters have in common is pain and loss. And what the renter is able to do for the kid is try to help reach out to him as a father would.
Yes. Yes. No, but I don't know, of course. We don't know how much grandmother has told him about my son, whom I've never seen. Maybe she has told him something, but whatever, if she hasn't, whatever the boy tells me, from that I must understand that he was a lovable father, and that the relationship between the boy and his dad was wonderful, and that was the basis for the tragedy, really.